Today is Wednesday. We are live from the SPX pit. We do have an SPX study from our resident genius.
The crowd is wild today.
They're wild. And so there is so much. We were listening to, some other reports and things of that nature. There is so much bullish call buying and put selling in these markets that it's like everybody's euphoric.
Well, I think some products, once earnings come out, like Disney, we had a diagonal on in Disney. You know what I did today? I took off my diagonal and I sold weekly puts. I sold next week's puts. I don't mind. Earnings are out. We're getting some news. I didn't mind selling puts in there.
Right.
So I did sell more puts today because selling puts gives you some room. If we have a little bit of pullback, you still have some room for the stock to pull back a little bit.
Right. So, no, I know. I get it. And so is the rest of the world. So yeah. Jenny and the rest of the world.
Selling puts. Selling puts. I'm not necessarily buying calls. I will.
They're pretty active back there. And so I think it's a good day to look at the most active list too. We'll do it at the end of the show so we can get a little bit more activity under our belt. But they're very active today.
They are very busy.
But this is kind of the activity that we hear behind us is almost what you hear on the down days. Like when that's what it feels like back there right now.
You're right. And we've got Boost up 80 to 85 and we're getting this action.
I mean, they don't look like they're moving, but they are yelling.
The pit is full. There's a lot of orders coming in and big orders. Orders.
Yeah,
definitely.
For sure. So doesn't it feel like that though? This is what it feels like when you're in the crash mode and the VIX is up.
I know.
That's what it feels like back there right now. But it feels like temperature isn't always what's happening, right?
Right. If you sat us down in this pit and we heard the commotion and the orders and the craziness,
I would say VIX was at 20 and we're down 100.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. But we're not. So let's pop in the pub. I want to see where VIX is. We'll do our study. Perfect.
Yeah, I've got our study for the day pulled up. Jacob put together a study. Let's pull it up. Trading zero DTEs with one DTE part two. We did this a few weeks ago.
On the 17th. On April 17th, I went back and looked at the date.
Okay.
And so we did this. Now we're leapfrogging because yesterday we did a study, or not yesterday, last week we did the study on Jade lizards. There's another one coming next week, but he's completing one task and then moving on to the next.
So this will be our last, part two will be, I think, the final part of the trading zero DTEs with one DTE. So looking at selling tomorrow's options today. At the end of the day,
which was asked for and requested due to the pattern day trading rule, which RIP is ending soon,
very soon, beginning of June,
and we appreciate him doing these. So we're going to take a look at this. Okay.
So if I remember correctly, the takeaway from the last study was the zero DTEs outperform the one DTE.
I believe you. I believe that to be facts too. I'm interested in looking at this one because I haven't seen it yet.
Okay,
I didn't look through it.
All right. Here we go. Zero DTEs have become a dominant force in option markets with same-day volume now routinely rivaling exceeding longer-dated contracts.
I mean, I think that's important when you think about that. The zero Ds back here. So it's about 50% or greater than the volume of the longer dated contracts.
I mean, the longer dated contracts go this week, next month, many months out, plus the leaps. It's crazy to think the 0 days are more than 50% of the volume of all of SPX trading.
Yeah, they're pretty crazy back there. Okay. Our previous studies refine the entry and exit mechanics that get the most out of short premium put spreads with recent attention to collecting larger premium by entering positions the day before.
Now, their success, however, owes no small debt to how bullish the market has been in recent years. And we've seen this, people talk about it. They keep saying like, oh, those put spreads have been so great because we've been in a bull market. Well, sometimes
I actually like to give an addendum to that because with Jacob's past studies, if you're closing it at 20%, I've had them close on the most horrific down day ever, and you're out.
Yeah.
So that being said, I understand that we are in a bull market up day, but each day has its own set of parameters.
And I do agree that there have been plenty of down days where we put on just the put spreads and we've gotten out of them.
You get out of them and then you move on with your day. But not every trader wants to be short puts every day. Exclamation point. Today we will ask how a variety of mechanical approaches have treated one DTE out of the money positions with alternative directional assumptions.
Here we go. Ready to jump in? Here's the study. Using 3 years of data in zero DTE SPX options collected every 10 minutes.
Okay, consider the results selling the one DTE put spreads, call spreads, or iron condos. So there's three. Monday through Thursday. We didn't do it on Friday. 15 minutes before the close, placing the short strike at the expected move, and the long strikes either $20 past there.
And long strikes to either $20 past. Okay, so you're looking at selling the expected move and making these $20 wide.
Yes.
Experimented with closing winners at either 25% or 50% of max profit while leaving losers and small winners on through the close.
Okay. So that's I think a key point too. Examine the total number of winning trades, the total profits or losses, and the frequency with which overnight trades profited sufficiently to be closed within 10 minutes of the open.
Oh, interesting.
Huh.
All trades were assumed to exercise at mid-price. All times of Chicago. 0 DTE results are replicated from previous studies for comparison.
For those of you in different countries, that is Central Standard Time. Chicago is Central Standard Time.
Yes, we are always Central Standard Time.
Yes.
There are some areas not too far from us where parts of the state like change their clocks and parts don't, where they flip flop. They're not always, sometimes they're Eastern Time, sometimes they're Central Time.
We are always
Central Time.
Central Time. Okay.
All right. Trading 0 DTEs with 1 DTE. This is looking at put spreads. Again, selling that short put at the expected move, making the spread $20 wide.
Okay. So look at this. Look at those dates up there. So you've got the 1 DTE sold before the close and winners closed at 25%.
Okay.
You have the 1 DTE sold just before the close and winners closed at 50%.
Okay.
You have 0 DTE sold at open. So we're he's pitting them against each other. I like the grudge match. 0 DTEs sold at open and closed at 25%, or 0 DTEs sold at open and winners closed at 50%.
So to me, when
Zeros for the win.
Zeros for the win, and I think that was the results the last time, zeros for the win. But when you look at this, I know they always hang their hat on, put spreads win because we've been in a bull market. Well, then why aren't the 1 DTE put spreads winning?
Excellent point, Jenny.
I thought so. So it just goes to show, like, in those 0 DTEs, anything can happen in a day and the market fluctuates. It's not like it goes up and just keeps going.
I'm sorry.
I can barely talk over this.
I know. I don't know if they can hear it.
Trying to move my mic that way.
They're not moving too much, but it is in fuego back there.
There is screaming. And it's, but I do think it's been stressful. From talking to some traders, this environment lately has been stressful.
Yeah.
Some of these traders have, they're under pressure. They've got big positions. They've got a lot of money flowing through them throughout the day, and they've got a lot of risk on.
When there's a lot of volume, there's a lot of risk for these guys. I agree with you.
Okay. And when the market's moving quickly, it's tough. Usually they're filling orders and then trying to hedge their portfolio.
Yes.
It's hard to hedge when SPOOs are ripping around
and then you're forced to take the next order before you can hedge. So yes, it is. We understand what's going back there. Now let's go back to our regularly scheduled. Next slide.
All right.
Now call spreads. Now we read the top already, so we know what that top says. All negative.
Yeah, never just sell a call spread.
Never just sell a call spread.
Unless we turn around and go into a bear market, but who knows when it would start, when it would end. I just won't even go there.
Yes. Closed it anywhere. 1 DTE, 0 DTE. None of these are winners.
Did I say bull market or bear market?
You said bear.
Bear.
But even then.
That's what I mean. Unless we turn around and turn into a bear market at some point in time. But for as long as we've been doing this show, which is over 15 years.
Calls burn me. Calls always burned me.
Yeah, I don't know that we've ever.
And they hurt worse than puts when they do.
That's true.
It stings worse.
That's true. Okay. Now Iron Condors doing both sides. It's here you have the 1 DTE. It does okay. It does okay. Like not great, but okay.
But at least they're all in the green here, where everything is profitable and that you're going to do here. So I think you need the put side to balance the call side if you want to do it that way. But in my opinion, I think that first slide was a clear winner.
So the first slide, the put spreads, the 1 DT lost and lost. So here, when you're doing the Iron Condors, you have a positive P&L, which would make me think you have a positive P&L here on just the call spreads because something has to be taken away from the loss on the put spreads. If you've got a $20 wide put spread at the expected move, putting it on at 245 and you're losing 30 and 16, don't you think you've got to have a winner on those call spreads here to subtract from the losses you had on those put spreads?
I think that the credit you get from both helps with the additional credit Because the put spread is by its standalone and the call spread is standalone, but they're combining the credits, which gives
So
you
instead
a
of getting like $1.80, you're getting $4.
Yeah.
And then you're looking for 25% or 50%
of a greater number.
Greater credit.
Yes, that's the only thing that makes logical sense to me.
But so these do okay, but what makes the most sense to me is the 0 DTE put spreads at the open or close to 9 o'clock. That's
Yeah.
about when we're putting these on.
Yes.
But I still love, we've got the best case scenario here, $103 a day. I think the Jade Lizard outperformed that.
I think the Jade Lizard did outperform that.
I think it did.
And the 5-day Jade Lizard is what we've been doing. Okay. So let's go to takeaways. Entering night before collects larger credits, but accepting the overnight move means seceding to the rapid response control that matters most as options approach expiration.
Call spreads, despite their smaller credits, hit overnight profit targets more frequently than put spreads, which help the 1 DTE call spreads weather our bull market better than their 0 DTE equivalents.
I didn't see that.
The numbers are there, and Jacob is, again, our in-house genius. I trust him. I trust him
too. Iron Condors were only 1 DTE structure that come out net profitable, collecting premium on both sides. Yet even they were outperformed by simply waiting for the open. Okay, so they wait till the open, trade the zeros.
All right, the fine-grained intraday control that makes 0 DT trading distinctive evaporates the moment you hold overnight. And the results here suggest that a trade-off is a difficult one to justify. So the takeaway, stick with the zeros.
You know what my takeaway is?
Zeros.
You know what my takeaway is? I want 0 DTE Jade Lizards.
Okay. I was going to say stick with the zeros, but we're saying stick with the zeros, but with these 5-day GTE, so we did a study on Jade Lizards, 5 DTE, 7 DTE, or 10. The 5 outperformed. Maybe the 0 would outperform the 5.
I know.
What a brilliant idea. All right, so that's this week's study.